So, just if anybody's, I gotta address this. Hello to everyone live. But if you're watching this in the replay, I have to explain to you. I already did a live in the lesson in the mind of Dickey Betts, but my first attempt failed. There's no way it's freezing. If this is freezing, I'm going to be so upset. That's on your end. I have strong Wi-Fi right now, okay? My first attempt failed because my iPhone got too hot in the Florida sun. I was outside trying to do it with Highway 41 in the background because I live close to Highway 41. Number 2, the second lesson that I did live was a solid lesson, and I'm going to I'm going to repeat this lesson. But the problem was my air conditioning was blasting so loud, and I was sweating profusely from the heat. So, just to let you know, if you can see this, all my questions are going to be answered after the live feed, okay? So I'm going to do the lesson, and if anybody who's catching on there, I don't know if you read their questions, will be answered after the live feed. And for all you in the chat, if you see people talking, just say, hey, he's going to answer all of the questions after the lesson, okay? That's where I need your help. But if you're watching this in the replay, you're not going to see the chat. Anyway, let us begin. Grab your guitars, okay? Grab your guitars. Let us go over again in the mind of Dickey Betts for the Allman Brothers. But first, let's just talk about it really quickly. Gregg Allman passed away, and I know I addressed this, and this one really hurt. This one stung. It's really weird that I think maybe that you guys as well, like we judge how old we are. Or how old we're feeling by the people who are icons that are timeless who pass away. So, you know, when I hear of Gregg Allman passing away, it's just like, there's no way. Because every time I hear the Allman Brothers music, it's so fresh, it cuts through any sort of emotional weight or baggage or things I've been thinking about, and those riffs just are so, like, timeless and present when you listen to them. So when you hear someone of your icons passing away, it hurts and it makes you feel old. And this is my little tribute to the Allman Brothers band. So we're going to be doing In the Mind of Dickey Betts again hey Scott Bernstein. Sorry, no questions. No questions. But hey Scott, he's my good friend. So let's talk about In the Mind of Dickey Betts. Okay, so let's start again. So first we have the progression. This is the ending jam, okay? We have G, all right, F, C, G. All right, so now, if we look at this, we have G, F, C, and G. This is a combinations of 1s, 4s, and 5s in the key signature of C major. We have a C, which is the 1. We have the F, which is no questions till after the live feed. I'll answer all the questions. I just want to get it's okay. No questions until after the live feed. All right. All right, so you got to help me out with that, everyone, when you see people chiming in. So we have a 1, 4, and 5 combination, the key signature of C major, but we're starting on the G. So what does that mean? Well, you have C, F, and G. When we start on the 5, this is called the Mixolydian chord progression, or Mixolydian progression. Very common to jam band music, and especially Southern rock, or Southern rock jam stuff like the Allman Brothers. So now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we, as stated, if you watch my first video, which will be linked below, by the way, you can look at these two performances, by the way. If you go on YouTube, 12, 16, 81, and 11, 2, 72, you could really see this stuff happening in person. All right, so here we go. The first thing that he does is he comes out with this really awesome riff as described earlier. Let's see. So, when we analyze this riff, we have a G. Now, this is a G Mixolydian riff, and the reason I bring that up is we have the G note on the G, and then it goes to the F chord. But before the F chord comes, he goes to the G, and he goes to a 5. Now, this is a 5 in the key of G. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you listen carefully, it goes, bounces off the 5 and goes right here, and he hits that C. Now, that C is in your F chord, okay? So the timing, boom, boom, ba, 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 boom, ba, ba, boom. So that C appears in the F and it appears in the C, and it's why that riff sounds so good. It starts off with the G, to the 5 to spring off a little bit of tension, to the C note here. Okay, so ba, ba. And then the the telltale sign of G Mixolydian, which is G to F to G. So the F being the flat 7, and that's what happens when you start a C major scale on the G, and you just play from G to G, you get the flat 7 the F. So I have the backing track kind of made here, and it's a little slower than usual, but you can hear it. Let's see. Now what does he do next? What he does next, he does the same exact riff. Here's your G here, takes the same exact riff. Okay, here, and there's the 5 here. And then he goes with the G here and F here. So here's both riffs. Let's see. That's where he starts. And then we get into the meat and potatoes of it. Alright, so the meat and potatoes of this is after he does this Mixolydian intro into the ending jam session, he goes right for a pentatonic. But here's the thing that happens. Now, I mentioned this in my earlier live feed, again, linked below, but we have a G Mixolydian progression in the key signature of C. So a lot of people might think, well, we gotta use some sort of C scale, but no, we do not. We're gonna be using a G pentatonic. And the reason we do a G pentatonic, and again, this is huge. I mentioned this again in my previous lesson. Pentatonics are void. They are void of any sort of modal responsibility. And what I mean by that is the major pentatonic. The major pentatonic is going to be doing. Here are the notes. Here are the intervals. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. In the major mode, at least, the numbers that get messed with in modes are the 4s and the 7s. And you can hear there's no 4 in there. And there's no 7. So this is kind of bypassing any sort of modal responsibility. It still works, but it's saying, hey man, we have a scale that works, it sounds good, and you know it so well, so we're going to use it. So we do. Now my friend Scott Bernstein, who's watching, mentioned the hexatonic scale. And what he's mentioning is if you watch my major never loss system, he's watching... He's mentioning the fact that when you're playing a major type pentatonic, you have to bring in the 4. You have to bring in the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, and back to 1. And that 4 occurs on some things, and that's why we bring it into the scale. It occurs when we go to the 4 chord. But it's okay, I just want to address that issue. But really, the pentatonic, starting there, then you can do the next one. Okay, and then you can start again here, and we keep on going. So, and we'll talk more and more about it. But there we have a G Mixolydian. Sorry, G pentatonic. So now I'm going to choose this note here. All right, there's my G root note. Okay, now what's going to happen here? And Dickey Betts is not the inventor of this, but he's so good at this. He is so good at taking this major second and bending it up to the major third. There it is. All right, and then he understands the power of the 5. Again, I always talk about the power of the 5 and how important it is to build tension in your solo. So if you look at this, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't even think. 1, 2, 3, and then here's your 5 and your 6. So he's going to take the 1, take that second, bend it to the major third, and tag the 5 with his pinky. And then he's going to finagle this pentatonic. So if you watch this, like, let's see. He's very not guilty, but he loves doing this, like. When he wants to build a massive amount of tension, he's going to bend that, and he's going to hit the 5, and he's going to do like the screams. Like that, let's see. So now, if I can't drop my pick, I just drop my pick. Fantastic, stay right there. Alright, so now, here it is with a backing track. I'll play the intro and everything, so. There's the beginning. Octave higher. So far, so good. I hope so. Now what happens next? Well, the pattern with Dickey Betts that he follows is a Mixolydian build into a G major pentatonic with the seconds bent up to the major thirds and tagging the fives. So what he's going to do is he's going to repeat that pattern. He's going to come up here, and one of the concerts I mentioned, 12-16-81 or 11-2-72, you can see him do this stuff. After he's down here, volume, and he builds attention, he's going to go right up to this G here. And what he's going to do here is he's going to actually start off usually with a Mixolydian run. He might jump to the pentatonic, but we're going to start with the Mixolydian. So he's going to do G Mixolydian right here, and we're going to go, I'm going to show you the whole scale. Okay, 15, 17, 14, 15, 17, 14, 15, that's the Mixolydian note, 17, 14, 16, 17, 15, 17, 18, that's the Mixolydian note, and then 15, 17. So you're going to see him. Then he's going to bust back into a pentatonic. But let's dissect that riff. I kind of screwed up there. But he's going to come off, he's going to hit that note, the G. And what's really cool is here's that second note in the pentatonic bent up to the major third. And then to that Mixolydian. So he has, hold on, sorry, to the Mixolydian note on the F, it's boom, boom. So he goes to the F, bends that up to a G, which is in the C chord coming next, ends on the D here, which is in the G chord that's next, and then he takes this major second, bends it up to the major third, when it starts again. All right, so now, there's your riff that he usually throws in. Then a little. And then he's going to stay right here in this form 2 little pentatonic. And I'll show you, coming from the G here. Sorry. And here's the third of the chord. There's the 3. There's the 5. Okay. So you're gonna see him. So I'm gonna try and get to that point right now. We have more to do. Let's see. loop, but let's move my head. Anyway, so there he is right there. All right, so he's in here, and he's going to fool. You'll see him. He's fooling around this G major pentatonic, really taking that major second, and really nursing it. Bend that. There's the one. There's a major second. Bending up to the major third. Then I'll do something really cool. Now, for those of you who see my major never lost pentatonics, he's going to come down. Okay. He knew about Mixolydian stuff. I truly believe that. It's not the hardest thing to do, and he was a very seasoned guitar player. Somebody's asked a question. Very seasoned. But I'll address all questions at the end of the video. So, where was I? So he's in the pentatonic. He's taking this guy, and then he's going to go back down this major never lost pentatonic. And then, sure enough, there's your one. And now, right in here is your form 1 pentatonic. That's either E minor, which we don't want to think about right now, or G major, same pentatonic. And you have... There's your 1, here's your 5, here's your 2, bent up the major third. What do you get? Going. So really quickly, before we wrap up here, there's something that he does, which I don't think I mentioned in this video, which I did in my previous one, is that he repeats pentatonic patterns that he loves, usually with 3s and 5s in it, and he sits and repeats that stuff, and then when he wants to climb, he'll climb out with a Mixolydian type move, get back into the pentatonics, and keep repeating. So, I hope this all made sense. Let's do some recaps really quickly before I open up the forum to questions. We have a G, F, C, and G, all right? We are in the key signature of C major. We're starting on the 5 chord, which turns, if you start any scale on a 5, or if you start any chord progression on a 5, you get a Mixolydian chord progression. So what does he do? He starts off with a G Mixolydian, which is a C major scale, but a G Mixolydian, you're reorienting yourself around the root notes. A G Mixolydian run. Then he's going to repeat it an octave higher. And then he's going to use the pentatonics, just a regular pentatonic, and he's going to bend that major second up to a major third, and he's going to tag the pinky on the 5th fret, which is the 5th, the interval 5, creating that nice tension. He's going to nurse this whole scale, everything about it. Where am I? There it is, okay? So he's got this whole entire thing. But he's using this guy. And he's going to repeat patterns that he likes. And when you go listen to him play it live, you can take those patterns because this is what he's doing. All right, then he's going to climb up, usually up to around this area, the 15th fret. Sometimes he'll go right into another pentatonic. Sometimes we'll go into the very famous Rambling Man line. Now that is a Mixolydian line because this has the flat 7 in it, whereas the pentatonic does not have the flat 7. So he takes these breaks. Mixolydian, pentatonic. Mixolydian, pentatonic. When he's done with that, he's going to sit with this form 2. And then he's going to take this guy back. Keeps going till they end the jam. I hope that made sense. So now, hopefully during the replay of this, it wasn't too bad. Now that that is done, I will take this down, if I can grab it. Yes! I will open the forum to any questions you guys have. Thank you so much. I'm sorry you're so confused. You can watch it back in the in the replay. It actually makes a lot of sense. All right, I'm going to open up if you have any questions whatsoever. I'll answer questions in the next 10 minutes. I can't thank you enough. Stitch, the true question is, do you like matches? Not really. I mean, nothing wrong with them, but no. But thank you for the question. And keep going. Unless I answered all your questions and it's like, wow, that made sense. Let's start off with hey Stitch, what do you do for the G note in the top third pentatonic position? Stitch method. G note in the top third. Are you talking about right here? You can work up here, or you can come down and keep on going. Yes, mobility is the hardest part, but when you run out of room in Never Lost, you're going to be in some sort of box. You can come down the box until the next root note appears, and then you can keep going down your Never Lost system, which you can see in my minor Never Lost video or my major Never Lost video, or if you want, you can check out the Master of the Pentatonic playlist on my channel. That will help out tremendously. So no more questions, right? I think I did my job. If you're just tuning in here, whether you're live or on the replay, I'm going to link the other video I did originally, which had terrible noise. But at the end of that, I show Highway 41. I show it so you can see it. So yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna chill out now. My job is done. Did you guys enjoy it? Let's see. In the mind of Robin Trower. Yeah, I was listening to some Robin Trower lately, actually. Scale alone, what chords? If I want to practice the major pentatonic, okay, so if you want to practice the major pentatonic, you just pick a key and you go. The question was, how do I practice the major pentatonic? Well, you take a G, you go to YouTube, G Major Pentatonic, or G Major backing track, right? Whatever comes up, G Major Pentatonic. Just remember to come home. Will seventh chords work in this song? Not really. The only chord that could possibly work would be G7. No, it's not going to work. Nothing. G, F, and C. I'm going to practice the hell out of this. I'm glad you're going to practice this. Do you think Sean Daniel would avoid me? I have no idea. What kind of question is that? That was really funny. So just judging by the comments that I got, I have a funny feeling I did my job again. That makes me feel good. Again, we're celebrating the Allman Brothers for the passing of Gregg Allman. And Butch Trucks, by the way. Do I know? Yes, don't worry, Don. I'm going to be doing probably Whipping Post, I think, or something, Statesboro Blues, something. But I think you got it. Okay, so you guys go run with it. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get a notification for the video, but don't worry, it'll be up live in a couple seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the first video unlisted, and I'm going to tag it in the bottom of this. More Hendrix, all the stuff's coming, and I'll find out for you, Kyle. I'll find out for you. Thank you so much for being here. We're about 23 minutes, which is the average time for a half-hour lesson with Stitch. Thank you so much. I hope this one came out a little bit better than my first one. You guys rock. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.